Good morning, everyone. What's going on? And we are back PM in the AM show with my right hand man, Mike Lauer. What's going on, Mikey? Uh, my Pushkadale was up early this morning, but
Your what? Say that in English, man. It's 8 o'clock.
you're Italian. You don't know what a Pushkadale
Yes,
is?
I do, but
You need to see it.
no, I don't. Well, yeah, we all need a good laugh this morning. But no,
It's only scoring for a half hour.
I mean, God, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, Pat.
For a half hour. It's
Yeah,
30 seconds.
Yeah,
and then,
yeah, 30 seconds into the
and
show.
then 29 minutes of cuddling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what that is.
Wait, we're talking about the show or something else.
Well, wherever you were going with that. But yeah, good morning to you.
Yes, Mike.
A
Yes.
little bit of a rough day for Philly sports yesterday. Well, just for one, anyway.
Yeah, well, listen, I was all intrigued to watching the Phils, but when I see two helmets colliding, I get all riled up. But of course,
That's just in the men's room.
Wow.
we're talking about other helmets. But Mike, I mean, yeah, you're gonna need a lot of that. Al, good morning to you, sir.
Morning, gentlemen.
You look all fine this morning. Fine,
Why,
like a
why
glass
does he say that to me every morning? And then I walk in the bathroom crying.
I have no idea.
But anyway, we already took the train and took it right off the rails. But no, the Eagles, Mike. I was on the post game with Dives and Frey Burns, and man, it is thrilling to get some football back. And one, still trying to figure out how did Jalen Carter fall into the laps of Howie Roseman and the Philadelphia Eagles, because that man, a monster among men, was wreaking havoc on the front lines yesterday and get to the quarterback.
Yeah, the few plays he was in, he looked good. That's what I did yesterday, mostly on my Saturday. I sat back, I watched a lot of football yesterday. I have some takeaways from our game that I wrote down, just some quick quick observations that I seen. A lot of people think that we're, with Nakobe Dean being out, that the Eagles linebacking core is not really, really good. Well, I'm here to beg to differ. Those linebackers yesterday looked fast. They had a lot of, they were very fast. They got to the ball. They attacked. And it didn't matter what combination they had in there. Like Nicholas Morrow was blowing things up yesterday.
Yes.
On that defense. And I'll tell you what, I took away some things yesterday. I just wrote down some, quick little notes. Nolan Smith didn't have a good outing. Nolan Smith was pretty much handled by a second string tackle yesterday. Again, they're probably running a vanilla-based defense, but it just didn't look. It looked like he got maybe one pressure out of the whole time he was in the game. He almost got to the quarterback once, from what I seen. Now, I want to talk about the offensive guys. Oh, I'm sorry, one more defensive guy who was all over the place last night and was definitely. You can definitely see him being a starter day one. Is Sidney Brown. That kid was a heat-seeking missile. He was all over the place yesterday.
If not a starter, he will be fine time on the field.
Yeah.
He's not going to be sitting around maybe just doing special teams type.
Right. I mean, you could definitely see something where they would, if they use the three safety set, where they bring a safety down into the box, I could see that kid being, he just looked really good yesterday. My boy Trey Sermon, the guy who's, horn I've been tooting for the last couple of years here with these birds, or at least all last year, he looked really good. He looked strong.
How'd you like him fielding punts and stuff like that?
Yeah, I was a little iffy about that. I didn't know what they were trying to get with that, but I'll tell you what, like I said, he's a load, man. You saw what he did yesterday. Got the ball about the 3-yard line and just drug people into the end zone. And he looked good in the limited time he's there. Rashad Penny, I did not like what I saw from him, but I also have to take into account too, that was probably the third string offensive line that he was running behind. It looked like every time Penny touched the ball, he didn't have nowhere to go. You know what I mean? And Mariota, to me, I'm sorry, but I think this kid, what's his name, Tanner McKee.
Oh yeah,
I would not be surprised.
Ives boy, right there.
I would not be surprised if he beat him out because Mariota looked bad. I'm sorry.
The only reason, I mean, he would have to look really bad. There's a lot of money on the line, unless there's I don't know what his contract looks like. Like they can cut him and save a ton of money. But the only reason I don't see Mariota, that's the only way I can see Mariota not getting number 2 just because of the money they spend.
Well, I hope they do because to me, again, he missed this kid Tyree Cleveland, who also had a really good game yesterday. Kid, I think he had like 6 catches for 68 yards yesterday, but Mariota missed them. He missed a lot of wide open guys yesterday, and he didn't like on the one play where he got sacked. He started to roll out. If he would have just turned, DeAndre Swift was wide open in the flat.
And and to piggyback off you, Mike, he like
Story of Mike's life.
me and Dives were talking about yesterday. Like, if you're going to use him in running situations, out, maybe get you out of that 3rd and long, and you're going to use him for his legs, that's fine. But when it comes to arm strength, just arm accuracy, Tanner McKee had him beat, and he had him beat.
Yeah, and
by a long shot. Like his open and drive was just tight windows, finding guys open. Again, just
a lot of back shoulder throws too. He was hitting.
Yeah, I mean, he was on point yesterday. So,
and he even ran too a little bit too. Like he had a couple yards rushing. Like I don't want to see Ian Book again. Like to me, Ian Book's experiment here is.
Well, it's funny the broadcast because I was watching the Phillies and them, so a lot of times the volume was down. But they were saying like this kid's going to be a coach one day. Pretty much saying you're not going to make a team, so he'll be coaching one day.
Yeah. I mean, he's bad. I mean, dude, you don't take a 20-yard sack. I don't care if it's preseason or not.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all we heard about it was how good of a quarterback this dude is. I mean, Sean Payton spent a 4th-round pick on the guy.
Right.
And he came in like you would have thought he was the rookie and McKee was the couple-year vet. You know what I mean?
Right, and that's like I said. It's so like you said, you did point out a couple of things. Like I said, Sandy Brown. I mean, like you said, he was all over that field yesterday. Just when it looked like the Ravens had a nice wide open run or whatever, like a nice little gap where they can make a big play out of. He came to clog it, and he came fast. Like he made sure that nothing big was going to go down. So, and that other kid, Ellis.
The defensive tackle?
No, the
linebacker.
The corner. He was making the one.
You mean Eli Ricks?
Eli Ricks. Right. Yeah, he came out with the pick 6, and again, like Freddie said, you seen him yesterday getting frustrated off a couple plays that he wasn't making. But I mean, he was swapping balls. Pick 6 definitely helped it.
I thought Kelly Ringo had a okay game. Like they kind of picked on him a little bit at first, but like he kind of rebounded a little bit in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, both him and Nolan, you could tell were getting used to the speed of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I guess is a good way of putting it.
Yeah, I mean, Duvernay beat him for a touchdown, but I mean, God, Duvernay's a pretty good wide receiver too.
Yeah.
So
Cleveland.
Yeah, Tyree Cleveland, man.
Yeah,
he had a great game, man. He did. I hope he's somebody that sticks around.
And sure hands, Greg Ward. Maybe.
I think Greg's just auditioning. I don't think Greg's going to make the team.
Like I said, he always seems to be like that guy that comes back around. Like he's
I would love for him to stay on the team.
He's another Matthews, Yeah, he'll wait for us until we're ready for him.
Yeah,
type deal. Yeah, I mean, maybe they stash him on the practice squad, but
yeah, to protect the practice squad, I would like to see him do that. But Greg Ward did. Like I said, it was a Greg Ward party. Like,
what's up, Jay?
That was so random. I just put some. He was responding to it, and I was like
looking up, like who the hell's he talking?
Like, is he having a stroke? It's like, what's up, G? In mid conversation, but yeah, no. I mean, there was a lot of like. Who do you think, like looking at last night's that guy that's going to wow you, but they're not making a team? Pretty much. That training camp darling, I call him, just that guy that everybody falls in love with, but just either ends up not being good or doesn't even make the team.
I want to say the kid Ellis, the defensive tackle.
Okay, all right. No, I got you. That's not a bad one, Pat.
Hold on, my man. Are you looking up for there? Hey, Fred. You know what? I actually, my man Fred, I do have my ballot.
You never know. You never know.
Yes.
You never know what Pat's doing on a
Saturday night.
This is why he's a little off today, guys. It was a late night.
Yeah. So
just
we made Freddie. If you want to know, I made tons of movies last night, and boy, some pleasurable, a lot of them were painful. Depends what side of the bed I woke up this morning. So I mean, my Piscadello went to the right. Yeah.
All right, can we get back on track here with the football game?
I think he's hit his pitch deal limit.
Yeah, or against something. But yeah, but let's jeez. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna need some lotion. But yeah, I mean, look, what stood out to me?
You got a funnel?
For what part?
Real quick, so we get back on track here, guys. Remember, go to Sherry'sTickets.com. Go to Sherry'sTickets.com for all your sports, concerts, theater needs. No hidden fees, great prices. I don't care where you're at. Go there, Sherry'sTickets.com. Save 10% off by using that great promo code EOP10. 10% off at Sherry'sTickets.com by using that promo code EOP10. Again, it's Sherry'sTickets.com. All right, now, Pat, are you ready?
Oh,
There you go. Reset.
yeah. I mean, I just want to go back to the running game a little bit and seeing, DeAndre Swift looked pretty good yesterday with the, he busts up the hole. Rashard Penny, 9 carries for 36 yards.
Every time Penny touched the ball, he had like 2 dudes in his face. So.
True. That doesn't have the double coverage.
I mean, do you guys take any consideration in the sense that that they didn't start one starter yesterday, that they started off with the second string guys? I mean, you had who was it? You had Tyler Steen at tackle.
Dude, he looked good.
Yeah.
He looked
Tyler
good.
Steen at tackle.
Tyler Steen looked good.
You had Driscoll at right tackle, right?
Yeah, Sills at one guard and
Edwards was the
center.
Trying to remember.
I'm trying to remember who the other guard was, but yeah, it was basically their second line. I mean, Dennis Kelly looked true to form, right? He looked like he did back when we let him go, sitting there letting people in, getting beat by 4 stringers.
Yeah,
let's have Dennis Kelly back.
Yeah, like yeah, that was a little
disheartening.
Yeah, I didn't know how to feel about that because I thought if anybody would be in there ready to go, like,
would be him.
He would probably, he could. Everybody had him as a starter. You never know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. I was impressed with the linebackers. I thought the linebackers looked really good. All of them looked good. The kid Van Housen from Michigan State, he looked really good last night. Nick Morrow looked good last night. Miles Jack looked good last night. Cunningham looked good last night. So the linebackers are looking really
Justin
good.
Evans looked pretty decent, too.
Yeah, he was flying around. Kevon Wallace, too. Let's give Kevon a little bit of love last night. He was smacking people around last night, too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think he knows he's playing for a job because I think the love for Kevon Wallace in that locker room is slowly Kayvon, right? However you say his name.
Yeah,
Kayvon Wallace is slowly going away. Like, because that guy he was one of those guys come in like running his mouth, ready to go, and just hasn't been able to crack the team. And I mean, look about it. His position has been brought in and drafted over and over again since he's been there. And there's no inkling that Kayvon Wallace will be an heir apparent to that position. So, I mean, I'm glad that they got a lot of the running backs in. I mean, Kenny Gainwell, I really want to see what goes on with that because I mean they're just in love with him. Like, and I love Kenny Gainwell. Don't get me wrong. And the guy really stepped up a lot in the postseason last year. I mean, he took over for the most part as the lead running back in the Super Bowl and the NFC Championship game. So I mean, they were pretty much sold on him. But I like to see that. I mean, he only got 2 attempts for 24 yards. You can't really beat that. I mean, only 22 of those yards was one for Swift.
That run was
the juke.
Yeah, he juked him.
Man.
He juked him, then bounced off a tackle, and then went down for another.
Well, let me ask you a question. I mean, you got Trey Sermon and you got Penny, pretty much close in the stats.
I listen. I've been telling you all along. I think Penny's going. I don't think Penny's making the team. I really don't.
Well, they have nothing to lose in this situation.
Like, as much as people say, that they're going to have a 3-headed monster, because Boston Scott, they're not going to get rid of Boston Scott because he can play special teams.
Well, I was going to say that's why I thought maybe that's why they were trying Trey Sermon out just to see how he worked out, and then that way they could be a backup to ball. Like, I don't know, like where because again, it's like weird things. Like we all like Trey Sermon, and we all know what he was able to do in college, but here we go. He didn't crack the team at all last year.
That's because he had what the story is that he had an undisclosed injury.
Okay.
That's why they had him dressed like if they needed him to play, he could have. But from what I understand, he had a underlying health issue. That's why he did not play.
Okay.
Last year. He wasn't dressed for me.
And I'm not like saying I'm like leaning either way. I really like both. But I think it's going to be between the two of them because of the type of runners they are. They are not
different. Do you
different.
think Howie gets smart and gets a draft pick from one of those two?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they've done it with linemen. They've had guys come in who most likely weren't making the team, but they worked with them. They got.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you could probably get a 6 or a 7 for Rashad Penny, because if you look at
it, might
it,
even be more depending on what your needs are. I would even go higher than 5 or 6, 5 maybe even.
Yeah, I mean, there were some people that went down over this weekend in the NFL. Sean Bradley too with us.
Yeah,
doesn't look good for him. I think you're talking possible ACL.
Oh, the linebacker too of all the things.
Right.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I think now the Eagles, with them signing Cunningham and Jack, they actually have depth. I mean, watching those guys play yesterday, they didn't look like they were missing a beat at linebacker. Like, and that's scary because Nakobe Dean hasn't yet to step on the field, and he's supposed to be the leader of that defense. Which I think we both.
I wonder if they brought them in even more for the veteran presence to work with him as much as not saying they're like, oh, they're worried about him, but just so he has that veteran presence, because you did lose your veteran presence from last year.
Yeah. So like I said, this is well, I think we're going to be in for a while of ride. So you guys, I think we can all agree. Well, maybe Mariota does get. Like I said, I don't think you're right. I don't. Mariota won't. Right? No, I mean Mariota. Mariota does get because of the money getting paid to him. He's not going to lose that backup quarterback position. But man, that kid showed a lot of promise yesterday. It's like, to me, it's like, how can you not? How can you not?
Well, here's the best part about it. Because of what the Eagles did to the Niners in the championship game, now the NFL's letting you dress a third quarterback that's not going to count against your, I guess your 53 or whatever. So, I guess the 40 whiners doing all their whining got something done with the NFL. So, I mean, that's a good thing. So you probably could keep him as your number 3. To be honest with you, I would look to see who's out there. Maybe during cuts or something, and just give Mariota his walking papers, because you got to have a guy who's going to have to throw, not just run around with his legs.
Hold on. I think that's the key factor. He's here is those legs that he is. I'm not saying he's as good as Jalen Hurts, but he's that Walmart brand Jalen.
Yeah, well, he's got the mobility that to me was the opposite of this kid Tanner McKee, because he's a pocket passer. Like, he doesn't run. He just he gunslings it. So
he's precision.
That
kid can throw a ball. And I mean, granted, he wasn't going against number ones yesterday, but I would prefer him over. Mariota. To me, Mariota's horrible, man. He is horrible. And I mean, I'm sorry, he missed the kid Cleveland. There was nobody 10 yards of him. I mean, he hits this dude, and it's 6.
Right.
Now think about it, dude. They lost by a point last night to a team. To be honest with you, that team don't lose in preseason.
Right.
Like, they put a lot of emphasis on winning preseason games. They've won them for 7 years now.
Yeah.
Like, that's to me. I don't know.
Did you guys see? I don't know. It was one of the Eagles Nation Twitter. They had a hold on. I think I saved it to my phone. It was pretty funny. So and I want to get your guys' opinion on this. Like, it was pretty scary to me that this went as far as it did. But it is at the Eagles Nation. So at PHL Eagles Nation had a Twitter post that said, one bet MGM better will win $93,000 if the Ravens beat the Eagles tonight. The only thing remaining from his 12-leg parlay. So this guy had just a bunch of win-loss parlays, and the only one he needed last night was the Eagles versus Ravens. He bet $250 to win almost $94,000 or a little over $93,000.
Now the whole thing is, though, did he lay the points? Because if he laid the points, he lost. If it was just win-loss, then he won.
No, I think it's all 12 win-loss picks. A lot of baseball and football in there.
Yeah, so I would want to see that ticket, because there's no way.
Oh, they have it. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it right now. They had a screenshot of it. Just 12 picks. Just 12 picks they had, and it was $250 with the odds at plus 337, and the possible payout of $93,000.
Yeah, but I mean, they said he only needed one. Like, the
one win. That was the last win of the day he would need. All his other picks have come true. All 11 of the 12 picks came true. The Eagles, Ravens.
Then he got some luck on.
He had Rays, Reds, Cubs, Red Sox, Braves, Brewers, Astros, Padres, Dodgers, Mariners, Rangers, and then the Ravens.
Hold on. Wait, I gotta go into.
Well, hold on. My question to you guys is so much this. All right, you're looking at this, and they put a poll out. Who are you rooting for? Guy's life to change for $93,000 or Eagles preseason win? They had, at this point, when I took the picture of the screen, it was a little over 2,800 votes.
Mhm.
How do you guys think it went, and what do you choose? What does Pat choose, and how do you think that went? Like 70-30, 80-20? Like, where would you go with it
I'm going to say that went to a 70-30 for the win.
for the win? And what are you choosing if you're voting in that, Pat?
I'm going for the win.
Okay. Mike?
I would say close to 80-20 for the win. Me personally, I'm hoping the dude hits the 93 grand.
Yeah, I'm with you, Mike, on this one. I'm like, who cares? It's like the fact that Pat is why I want to punch you in the nose half the time. Like,
Oh, that's fine.
yeah, like,
Why not?
who cares? Like, it's a Eagles Ravens first game preseason game. Not one star. It means nothing.
I understand.
This whole Ravens win streak of like what 23 wins, 24, I guess, after last night in a row of preseason games. You can have that useless moniker. Go for it. It's like, oh, I was the least stinkiest trash man that day. Who gives a shit?
Right.
Like, I mean, like seriously, and the fact that people voted against that guy.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
like,
just
I'm
shows
like,
you.
oh, Mike, geez, you get a chance to win 90. I don't care if you're a rich man or not already.
You win
You
90
win 93 grand and making 12 choices and all of them coming true.
Now,
The odds is ridiculous. And by the way, the vote went 50-50. I was disgusted by
Really?
people.
Well, I mean,
People are trolling a little
yeah,
bit.
well, I mean,
still.
listen, I get it. Look, it's a useless win. It doesn't matter. Is it going to hurt you? No, but I mean, I guess you want to see improvement of some other guys who need improvement. But hey, listen, kudos to the guy, for smacking 93 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now let me ask you. Now, what were the winning teams he had yesterday?
I don't even know if I guess I don't even know how true this was, but if it was,
Well, this is what I want you to read.
Rays, Reds.
Hold on, you said Rays and Reds. Well, number one, the Reds got postponed, so that would drop it down because they got postponed against the Pirates. You said the Rays.
Rays.
Hold on, did they win last night?
I don't know if this was all like in one day though. This could have been different games. They just have like.
All right, who else was it? Rays. Who else?
Reds, Cubs.
Cubs did win yesterday.
Red Sox.
Red Sox lost.
Well, they have it as a win. So I don't know. Like, this could have been just a way of getting people.
Yeah, Red Sox lost 6-2. Like, dude, you can't go by that because what they do is they'll take like a ticket and move it.
No, but I'm just saying, I was more or less the social. Like, do you want this guy to win or not?
Yeah. I understand what you were doing, but like I said, I got told when it comes to those betting things, like sometimes you'll see something like that, and it'll just be like them. It's like copy and paste. They'll copy and paste different tickets. And like they'll have the bottom for a 12-team parlay, but then they'll just slide in and go, "Oh, I only need one to win," and just like
And listen, they tagged that bet MGM. Like I said, I don't know if all those games were for today or for yesterday. If he bet like a couple games in 24 in like a 48-hour period, I'm not sure. I'm just saying, but I said I thought it was just ridiculous that of 2,800 plus people that it was a 50-50 split.
So let me ask you, Mike, what's your thoughts on Mr. Cleveland on the wideout?
I liked him. I thought he was big. He's physical. Fought for the ball. Came back for the ball. I'll tell you what. Him and what the hell's the guy they just picked up? Ricks. 47 or 47.
If it's Rick's, I don't know what number.
No. He's number 47. He was. They just picked him up. He's the one Tanner hit.
King.
Okay. I like him. I thought he had a really good game. He caused a fumble on special teams.
I mean, he was 1 for 2 and one was a 33-yarder. You're talking
right,
about.
but he also special teams. He caused that fumble on special teams.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm liking a lot of what I'm seeing with some of these backups. You know what I mean? Our starters are going to be our starters. But
how about overall? How about overall? Did you guys see? Knowing it's like I said, a preseason game, knowing that it's all the second stringer or lower.
I thought the defense played better than expected. If you remember, people are looking at the Eagles going, they're going to take a step back because they have 2 new coordinators. I thought the offense, even with our second string starting, really kind of didn't miss a beat. Like if the first half, they owned the ball. They just didn't punch it in. You know what I mean? So they were able to really control the clock against a solid Ravens team. And the defense, like enough said, man. Like, Jalen Carter is going to be someone to to look out for. I was a little disappointed in Jordan Davis too. He wasn't getting that explosiveness off the ball in the limited time I saw him too. But again, I give credit to Sirianni, for starting the second stringers because they're off today and then starting tomorrow and Tuesday. They got the joint practices with the Browns and then they play again on Thursday night.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, that was kind of a lot of people were like upset, but like they literally said during the broadcast that Sirianni said, "We got the Browns on Monday. I'm not starting my starters. They're going to get plenty of rep,
Right.
and they're probably not going to play on Thursday either. You're probably
No.
I mean, highly doubt you see any starter start at all.
I would, man. You got to give your starter some type of game time repetition. Like I understand, even if it's 4 series, Jalen, go out there, start an offense, go out there, first series, go down, score touchdown, boom, you're done.
Who do they play on Thursday?
The Browns.
No. Yeah, that's right. They play each other. That's right.
You got to, man. Like this whole thing of keeping your starters out, I'm sorry, to me, that kind of leads into them getting hurt when the regular season starts. You got to let them face some
sore and beat up more in the beginning of the season. Yeah, I mean, there's kind of like
you gotta use that feeling again.
Yeah, you got to let them face some live bullets, man. I'm
not against it, but it does not seem to be the way that things go anymore.
Well, listen, speaking of live bullets, let's shift gears here.
Well, real quick, guys, I want to remind you that, there's, speaking of games coming up, the first away game, the first game of the season is, I'm looking at the wrong one. That is not the right one. That is
that's in December.
Al. Yeah, sorry.
Hello.
They look exactly like on my board here. The New England trip is the first trip coming up with PhillySportsTrips.com. Hollis Thomas will be there from the 8th to the 11th. Get their travel tickets, an experience bar none that you'll get anywhere else.
And your boy E-Rock will be DJing.
Yeah.
He will be DJing. And what I heard him say yesterday on his TikTok, was Philadelphia Eagle fans of Boston will be hosting a watch party. So if you don't have tickets to the game and you're just going up and you want to tailgate, you can definitely chip in with those guys and watch the game.
You got to be with other fans from the area. But check it out, guys. Plus all the other away trips coming up. Go to PhillySportsTrips.com. Get your money. I know it's kind of weird we're talking like this, but we are going to the end of the summer. Fall hits us, and right before fall holidays. So if you got birthdays coming up, anniversaries coming up, I know I got both in my world. Christmas presents. This is the best way of doing it. I mean, this is the best way of doing it for your Philly sports fan. Don't buy them another jersey they're not going to wear. Don't buy them just like a piece of memorabilia that maybe they would like, maybe they wouldn't. Buy them an experience they'll never forget.
I can be the first to tell you, dude, just the tailgate alone is worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
Like if Pat were to go, like Pat would be in heaven.
Well, if Pat would go, Philly Sports Trips would go out of business.
Oh,
they would. Vince would look and go, Pat, you have a one trip limit.
Vince would have to say, everybody but Pat, or Pat would be the only guy getting charged by the pound of food.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I could scarf down some meat, no problem. But anyway,
we're not going to disagree on that statement.
If you're waiting for
after that picture, yeah,
if
we
you're waiting for
totally
a disagreement, you're not going to get it, my friend.
and the Phillies have won 6 out of 8. Big win on Friday, but yesterday was a little bit of a clunker. Taiwan Walker gave up multiple, 2 walks right off the back-to-back. Looks like he lost command of his pitching. That's
the key thing with me with Walker is he would throw what they would use the term quality pitches like since June. Remember they said they did that special software that slowed everything down and they were able to see some mechanical things from his grip and how he throws the ball. And then ever since then he was on a tear up until the last start or two before this. And except for the last 2 starts, he would have a clunker in the beginning, but then after that he was locked in and he was good to go. But last night was a problem that we've heard about Walker his whole career, that he gives you some good quality starts, but then he has a kind of a roller coaster ride of up and down. We saw how he was at the beginning of the year. They're talking, and actually even Topper said in the post game, he's going to get some time to rest because now with the 6-man rotation, they're off on Monday. They have a 2-game series against Toronto. There's a good chance it's probably a whole week to 7 to 8 days before he pitches again. Well, hopefully during that time they're getting his head right and working on his whatever. Same thing they did again. Somebody boot that computer up and work that software again because I'll be honest with you, a tad bit nervous with Taiwan Walker.
Yeah, I mean he gave up. There was the most walks in his career last night. I'll tell you what, you got to tip your cap to Pablo Lopez though from the Twins.
Yeah,
he was very dominant. What's up there, Senio?
What's up, Sane? Insane in the
He
membrane.
heard Boston. And he talked about the New England trip. And, he woke up. And it wasn't just him. I mean, pitching, like the whole game, and the pitching and the bat.
Like, I don't want to see Soto no more.
It was cold. I mean, that's the other thing with Soto. Like, he go in there and be dominant, but when he's not dominant,
he's off.
He's far from it.
I mean, and like I say, go back to Walker. Though, I mean, his pitches are all over the place, and the only time he got inside the zones with the hanging curveball. And
Joey Gallo just
he raked
2 home runs, two singles. Yeah, you can't have a guy having that. Like I said, this team was always quote unquote built to bash their way out of problems. Well, the bashing was actually an issue.
Kyle
too.
Schwarber looked he looked overmatched last night.
Over 5.
Yeah, but I mean, you see, he's almost looking like he's getting locked in. Like, yeah, he was 0 for 5 last night, but like he looked off. Like he looked like he was off. Like, I don't know, maybe that bump on his butt, the previous game.
On top of the foot.
Yeah, but
I don't know. Razzing him in the dugout. Like he threw his arm pad at JT.
Yeah, they called him the Great Panda or something. They said the Great Panda fell or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, but like Schwarber 0 for 5, 0 for 4. I mean, they had guys in scoring position at one point, and then nothing came about. I mean, if anyone had a game yesterday, it was Trey Turner.
Yeah,
which on 3 for 3.
Which is let's call that for what it is, because that's a huge sign that whatever we did as fans, really snapped him out of it, because last night was a good night for him to go 0 for whatever quietly in that good night. Nobody would have bagged on him more than anybody else. I think the whole team was flailing except for him, maybe, and Nick Castellanos.
Yeah,
who was 2 for 4. But I mean, 3 for 3 with a run and a walk. I mean,
that was the offense in general. If it wasn't Castellanos and Turner, everybody else was asleep, man. Like they didn't. They left a lot. They left men on base. Like,
so can I ask you guys though?
And also the biggest, and I talked about this on the finals last night. The biggest stat that really will burn you in any game is the ratio of 1 walk to 10 strikeouts. You can't survive. I don't care who you're playing.
So let me ask you guys, since the fans kind of like rejuvenated Turner, like what's made him so successful? I mean, is it his approaches? I mean, because this dude's been on fire.
Maybe he just relaxed. Did you ever stop? I think that's what it was. I think he just finally took a deep breath in and just said, all right, yeah. And us as fans, you want to be like, we did this. We got him on track. We let him know.
I believe 100% it was us. I know you're not going to go, you're nuts. But at first, listen, I'm a realist. I'm a realist. I know when things are, just good timing and whatever have you. But no, I believe it is. And I think, here's my theory behind this, and I'll tell you why, Mike.
Okay.
Nick Castellanos. Mm-hmm. Remember him last year. Mm-hmm. Went through the same thing. We were comparing the Trey Turner season up until recent to Nick Castellanos season last year, right? Very lackluster, a couple good games here and there, and then he'd fall off, all that kind of stuff.
But we never gave Castellanos a standing ovation.
And look, it took the whole season for Castellanos to come back around. I'm thinking, this is how I'm looking at it. These guys are human as much as you, me, and the next person. Even though they make millions of dollars playing a game, they still have real life problems. You know what I mean? And I think and this is the thing, is Trey Turner is that kind of guy who's going to put the pressure on himself, because people were getting upset when we started doing this. Like, oh, we wouldn't do this for James Harden, or we didn't do this for Joel Embiid when they were in there having their issues, or we didn't do it for this guy, or didn't do it for that guy. The difference is we saw Trey Turner pressing. Like, he would lose a game, like that Marlins game, that one where he literally had to come out, and he came out and said, I lost us that game. Then he went until midnight in the batting cages and kept hitting. Like, the guy's trying, and you can see a guy struggling right there. How many times do we say it's between the ears? Well, we just happened to get lucky and found out that the between the ears problem is the pressure he's putting on himself, and then probably going, I got to make it right because Philly is going to be on me. Like, he knows, just as much as he knows that this place can go crazy for you, he knows, like anybody else knows, that this town can beat you down. And I think that the fact that this town I have to say something. I'm sorry to cut you off. I have to say something. The fact that you get 4 Philly fans to do the same thing is amazing on its own. 40,000 Philly fans agreed to do that. That's a big thing. And I think he even noticed that. And I'm going to say, listen, did he mechanically fix himself or whatever the issues? But telling me that you had 40,000 people who don't even know you, haven't had a chance really to get to know you, could have just sold you down the river. It says a lot, and that's why I say it's different than the Joel Embiid and the James Harden. I mean, look at the situation that's going on with them right now. Oh, they're going to play no matter what. It was a constant with these guys. You can see a guy who's struggling, who's trying to do his best, and sometimes just a little bit of a backing from your fan base makes a world of a difference.
And the thing is, if you're going to compare the two, one guy, all right, didn't really have tons of strikeouts, and of course like you didn't think we didn't get on him at first when this was all going down. We talked about this a month ago about we're paying Trey Turner this. He was a showcase in May before this, or in March before this whole thing went down, and then all of a sudden, we stopped to realize, all right, let's try and get behind the guy. It's a difference when the guy's out there trying to compare to the guy sitting in the perimeter and looking like he's on the back of a milk carton. Like he had just standing there. It wasn't trying to hustle, wasn't trying to move, wasn't trying to say, here, I'm open. Just stood there. And then same thing with MVP himself. Just stood there. And then all of a sudden, the minute the season ended, you just mute me.
You were peaking. I turned you down.
Was it my puberty? Okay. But no.
Sorry, Mr. Simpson.
No. My thing is, and then with the two superstars, the minute the season goes down, I want to get out of here. I can't handle the fans. Hoo. And then just up until recently, Mr. Harden couldn't find nowhere to go, not even on a rebuilding team, a team that's a bottom feeder that would take anybody right now just for a ticket sale, and they don't even want you. So now all of a sudden, we have to sit there and welcome you with open arms because you wear the Sixers uniform. I don't want to hear it. Stick up your katosh.
Wow, that was a 2.5-minute diatribe that I cannot get back. What did you finally see the light? Because you were the guy that was on this show killing Trey Turner. Like
I was, and
I was wondering what Mike's sitting there making faces. I'm like,
yeah,
Mike's
he's doing this whole testimonial to Trey, right? But like a month ago, he was ready to cut ties with him, get him out of here. Typical overreaction.
I am. I was ready to drop my Jordan. What's up?
Hey, what's up, Antonio? I think he finally cleared his head and said, I'm playing like crap. Some players have that in them, some don't. I have the knowledge, and Pat doesn't.
No, my point is,
yeah.
I don't think there was any doubt in his mind he was playing like crap. And he's, how many times did he say that? And then there's been like moments where okay, he's coming out, right? And then he just fell back into it. So obviously he knew he was playing like crap. And I'm telling you, there is a large mental aspect to this game. And people forget that. These guys are usually young guys. I mean, I'm 40 years old. I'm like 10 years older than like the guy in his prime at any point in time. So we forget that they're millionaires. They have a city who presses them the way we do, and it does weigh on them. And I'm okay. Here's my thing is, and kind of to push back what Pat was saying. I know we have somebody on the line here in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But my pressing with that is, I would back James Harden. I would do the same thing for James Harden. I would, standing ovation or whatever you want to call it. But I would welcome him back if he was the kind of guy who's going to say, you know what, guys, I've done screwed up. I pushed the wrong buttons. I made a mistake. Let's move forward. Because if he's going to play on the team, it's only going to be helpful for us if he has good mind space. But obviously, he's pretty much saying, I'm not going to do it. So now this is where you tell the fans, you tell the guy to go pay sand instead of standing ovation.
Yeah, I mean that's terrible. But anyway, so we do get Ranger Suarez on the mound today.
I like Ranger today.
You like Ranger?
I like Ranger today. He's
Ranger danger.
He's due for a really good outing. Like he's been kind of teetering, but I think he's due for a good outing. And the offense needs to kick in a little bit, man. They really do.
No, I totally agree with you. I mean, as much as we want to rag on the pitching, I mean, yeah, the offense needs to come alive. But on the lines this morning, and I had an opportunity to talk with him on Thursday.
Thursday.
Is
that?
Oh,
Thursday, everybody.
Somebody's on vacation mode already.
Oh, you won't believe.
It's a day he's allowed churros.
Oh, yeah, Thursday. My man, Austin Hamill, who does the attack and third, who covers all of the Union. And Austin, you and I talked about this on Thursday, that the Union could potentially see a problem coming here, and it's coming to fruition because Tuesday, one of the best, if not the best soccer player in the world, will be here Tuesday to take on the Philadelphia Union, and we're going to see what Andre Blake is really, really made of.
That is correct. Good morning, gentlemen. Yeah, I really don't see it as a problem. Actually, this is one of the best things that could happen for Philadelphia soccer right now is having one of the greatest players of our generation set foot on the pitch here in Philadelphia. And it's honestly going to be one of the best things you'll get a chance to see. I said this Thursday night, Pat. I got very hyped about this. If you're not watching now, you need to start because this is exactly the point that you should start if you're wanting to get into Philadelphia Union soccer. It is the greatest player of our generation. He's only played in 5 games so far, and he already has 7 goals. Like, this guy is unreal, and he just continues to show that he really is one of the best every single night that he's out there.
Hey, Austin, what's going on, bud? Question for you, because a lot of things, and listen, I'll be honest, I don't know much about soccer, so don't mind my ignorance in some ways, but the thing I'm seeing a lot on social media going around is like, well, he's playing in a lesser league. Like, is there any, do you poo-poo that when people say things like that? Is there any credence to it? Is the MLS lower than what he's used to playing in? Or is he just on fire right now?
Well, I mean, of course, if you compare it to the English Premier League, to La Liga, all the places that Messi has played, it's definitely not the same level of competition.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a different style of competition than what you're used to seeing. MLS is definitely a lot more of a physical game. But this guy he's one of those guys that just transcends play. How we saw LeBron early in his career, how we're seeing Shohei Ohtani right now in MLB. He's one of those guys that is honestly, he's bigger than the game, and the game just comes to him. Like, he doesn't have to, try and figure a way around the team. Like, he knows what he's going to do, and he will do it. So you really just have to be able to go out there and play the style of game that you're used to playing, and just hope that you can at least limit the damage that he's able to do. Because you look at the games that he's played in, all but the one, his first game, he came in as a late time sub. Every other game that he's played, he started, played the full 90, and he scored twice. So you really want to hope that he's not going to get those looks that he's been getting, which are free kicks just outside of the 18-yard box, that first big box that you see going towards goal. Because once they put that ball there on a spot, that man is going to put that ball in the net. Like, it's just another term that I used Thursday night with Pat. It's not a prediction. It's just a fact of life. If you set that man up outside of the box on his left foot, he's going to bury that ball. What you really want to do is you want to try and, if you're going to allow Miami to get a position to have the ball spotted and let them sort of just try and fly one in, try and get it to be as far away as humanly possible for this guy, because it could be very bad if you keep letting him get these balls.
Yeah, and that's like I said, Austin. I'm curious to know, and what's your thoughts? Like, what's Jim Curtin going to have to do to stop a guy like this? And we all know Jim Curtin. If you want to compare it, like Al was just saying, if you want to, they try to compare to MLS. Like, he is the Nick Saban of MLS right now, and what's he going to have to do to shut it down to a superstar, though? Because this is a superstar that he's never seen, not by a long shot. So what's he going to have to do to shut down Messier?
It's definitely a tall task for sure to be able to have to contain a guy like him, because there's truly no stopping Lionel Messi. There's only containing him, and you're going to have to do that by essentially, for the most part, it's either going to be crowd him when he has the ball, but also at the same time try and cut off good passes. So it's going to be a combination of like, just, try and stay aggressive, but not too aggressive, but also at the same time keep an eye on everybody else. Because as you saw in, I believe it was the Atlanta game, Atlanta had no idea how to work with this guy. It was every single time he started to make a run, Atlanta didn't even notice that he was doing it, and he was just leaving these guys in the dust. So we know that we have one of the best back lines in MLS. We know that we have one of, if not the best goalie in MLS. So it's going to be a lot of, hoping that your guys are ready for this moment, because this is, in my opinion, the biggest moment that this team has had since MLS.
Right. And like I said, this is going to be, you said earlier, a tall order. I mean, again, this is how you know this guy is that good because within 7 minutes, the minute the tickets went on sale, they were sold out. I mean, so this is what this guy brings to the table. I mean, it is going to be packed. Like, I'm surprised they didn't move this game to Lincoln Financial Field. That's how big it's going to be as far as attendance. Like, this is going to be nuts, and seeing this guy live in person. So, we're going to be able to see it down there, and I just hope that Andre Blake gets all the people in the all the defensive pieces that he's going to need in front of him because he's going to see tons of Messier in his face.
Austin, I have another question for you too, real quick, to kind of back off what Pat's saying too, or to go off what Pat's saying and let you answer them both together. With the ticket sales, we saw they went out, but they're also saying that they're charging them 10 times the amount. A $35 ticket is now up to $350. I don't know if that's on third party or if the union, because I think they go through SeatGeek or whatever. If they cranked it up, like, what are your thoughts on that? And kind of go along with Pat to answer that question.
I mean, it's kind of understandable why you see the ticket prices jump like that, just because of like we've been saying, the caliber of player that Lionel Messi is. It's one of those things. If you play it at Lincoln Financial Field, you're going to end up getting a lot more people that aren't Philadelphia Union fans, and in a position that you're in right now in this cup tournament, you want to be able to have as many of your fans in the seat as possible, being able to cheer your team on to victory, hopefully, and pretty much quadrupling the amount of seating, like moving the game to Lincoln Financial Field would definitely not help that situation. It's just a lot more opportunity to be able to get people in there that are either fans of Inter Miami or just fans of Leo Messi in general. Would feel, I guess you could say, it would put it more at a level playing field, and you definitely don't want that, to be 100% honest. But yeah, it was absolutely insane to just watch Twitter in a matter of 7 minutes be like, this is incredible, Messi's here. Oh my God, there's no tickets left. It's just one of my favorite things to be able to see, especially nowadays in sports, because unless your team is already doing very well in a playoff hunt, there's a lot of times that you don't see a completely sold out crowd and have it sell out that quickly. And to have it happen for a game that's not even regular season play, and it's just a tournament that's happening to fall in the middle of your season, is incredible. And I feel like I said, it's Messi coming here to the States has been already in 2.5 weeks that he's been here has been incredible for the growth.
Yeah, and that's like the only problem I have though is it's just going to be on Apple TV. You have to have the Apple TV MLS subscription plan. Like, could you imagine if this thing was like on FS1 or something? Might break TV ratings. Like, it's going to be crazy because we all know how Philadelphia fans are, and to like I said, to the casual fans who don't know who Messi is, and it's just hearing the buzz, and of course he's the minute he got signed over to Inter Miami, you saw it was like the LeBron party back in 2010, or was it 2006 when they had the party going on for the guy. I mean, they had a whole stadium sold out, the pyros and fireworks. They are all going off. So if this game was only on like one of the major TV stations, yeah, this might be doing some things here. So, I mean, like I said, I can't wait to see what goes down, what transpires. Do you think, Austin, do we get Daniel Gazak back? Do we get Papa Bedoya back? What's going on?
From what Jim Curtin was saying leading into the match on Friday night, it's very possible that we give him get him into the starting 11 on Tuesday night. But honestly, even though it's only a grade 1 knee sprain, you don't really want to try and rush a guy who's that vital to your team back that quickly. It's really going to be dependent upon how he looks this weekend in the practices and things like that. If he's feeling good to go, I feel like Curtin's not going to say no to him because of the fact that it's going to be this is obviously an all hands on deck match. If you wanted like the prime example of that, this is definitely one of the best players in the world with a team who definitely has literally everything to prove. They have about 13 or 14 matches left in the season when regular season play starts back up, and they have a serious chance to battle their way into a playoff spot. And there's a strong possibility that we could see them again in the playoffs when the regular season ends. So to be able to get a taste of what this team can do right now, is going to be vital for going into the regular season, getting into the playoffs, potentially having to see these guys again.
Yeah, and like I said, we might have this squared up back again in October. But look, also, I want to say thank you, dude, for hopping on the show. Listen, Tuesday night it goes down. Philadelphia Union, Messier, Inter Miami. It is going to be a showdown like no other. Like I said, tickets are already sold out. People are looking to get down there every which way possible to see Messier live here in Philly. But it's going to be a showcase like no other. And guys, if you want to give my man Austin Hamill here a follow on Twitter at Austin Hamill EOP. Catch him in all of his Twitter feed on the Everything Union. And of course, catch him right here on the Edge of Philly Sports Network, Attacking Thirds, 9 p.m. on Thursday nights. Austin, enjoy your day, my man, and we will talk back. We will get all your recap come this Thursday.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Love you.
All right, brother.
Man, thank you. Have a good
All right,
one.
brother.
All right. Well, listen, it's
kind of I kind of wonder, like, I probably will tune in the beginning of the game, I'll be honest with you, just to see how the reaction from the crowd is with the guy. Like, I guess I would liken it a little differently, but like growing up, the Sixers weren't great, let's be honest, in the 90s, and Michael Jordan was the man. So when the Bulls came to town, that was when Sixers games got sold out. Like, you wanted to see Michael Jordan. And maybe later in the 90s into the early 2000s when Kobe was around outside the Allen Iverson era, the place was being sold out. But the kind of fanfare that's been going around with this whole Messier thing, I can't wrap my brain around it.
Yeah.
Maybe just because I'm not a huge soccer fan, and maybe I just never. I mean, again, in the 90s, it's different because there was no Twitter or Facebook, Instagram, whatever. And here comes Messier, or here comes Michael Jordan. Here comes, maybe there would have been a bigger fanfare for him. But it's just like, I don't get it.
Well, like I said, Al, it's again. I mean, call for what it is. We're typically your 4-for-4 guys, and soccer was one of the sports we normally didn't pay attention to. Pat, who we can now. Listen, bro. Dives.
He got a lot of vitamins last night.
Yeah. I'm loaded up, brother. I
Yeah.
am loaded up with some things everywhere.
It's full of something.
Full of something and ready to
Full
go.
of something. Hey, wait a minute. I did a
Yeah.
post-game show after you guys, and I'm up this morning, and I'm going down the game. Come on, man. Give me a little love.
You gotta
here.
give, you gotta give Al love.
Yeah. So yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I'm ready to rock, bro. But yeah, into what I was saying. So, Al, we're typically your 4-for-4 kind of guys. So yeah, soccer was not in our wheelhouse, but again, just to hear the buzz from everybody, and you got to remember though, there's like, people,
Sorry, Insanio.
It's messy, not Messier.
Yeah, well, I made a messy of it. My bad.
Well, Pat did it too.
I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. Next time.
So yeah, we're gonna see though. I mean, because like I said, this is a buzz. This is like you said, you're Tom Brady, you're LeBron. It's got that feel to it. A big market name coming to Philadelphia, and see what this guy can do. And listen, for quite some time now, Jim Curtin, again, one of the best coaches in MLS, with one of the best goaltenders. So it's going to be a tall order and a tall task. I'm curious to see, how good these guys really are.
Austin, back. He's not on the line, but he's on the screen here. Exactly. The analogy you gave is perfect to the level of celebrity that brings the sport. I mean, that's the thing is, like, I remember when he was in Miami the first time, and I know, like, LeBron was there. I know, like, they had some big, movie stars. Like, I just did not know that would bring out that kind of. Well, I just didn't expect it, to be honest with you.
I don't follow soccer, man. So like, you're not going to hear me say a word.
Wait a minute, timeout. I got a beef now.
Why?
Hold on, real quick. Because if you have a beef, I go to David Archerry at cherryinjurylaw.com. 610-565-0300. You're going to have a beef with somebody if they hurt you at work, a motor vehicle accident, personal injury, criminal law, cherryinjurylaw.com, or call David Archerry directly at 610-565-0300, cherryinjurylaw.com. The Cherry firm, David Archerry, is the man who will fight for your rights.
You know what? You're a snot-nosed punk. You know that?
Why am I a snot-nosed punk?
Because you said in the beginning when
because you guys are 7 years old, he doesn't know how to curse right.
Well, I
Snot-nosed punk. I'll tell you, you brickhead.
Yeah.
because you said, you chimed in on one of the Attack and Third show. You're like, I can't wait to follow MLS. You didn't
Yeah.
follow one iota.
No, I didn't. I tried. I did. I tried. Listen, I'm not going to knock the sport of soccer.
No, I don't knock any
It
sport.
definitely has a following. It just doesn't have my following.
I
can't knock any sport because I break out and sweat tying my shoes. So I mean, I can't. I know,
It's
people,
just not.
people used to make fun of curling and cornhole. Hey, listen, if you can do it better than the rest, then you
and
deserve.
sucking cornhole.
No.
No.
No. I can't go along with that one. No.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but like my point is like I'm. It's just I don't know if I have another room or any more room in my life for another sport. You know what I'm saying? Like, or even
I'm just.
and it's nothing. Like, I tried, especially. I'm like, all right, let me watch the championship game, right?
Yeah, I did too.
I
I watched it and I was like,
I was lost. I was lost, and I don't think it's nothing against the sport at all. And I'm not saying don't watch it. It's not a great thing. And check out the Attacking Third on Thursdays at 9 because they do a great job. Because I do watch the Attacking Third because it's part of my network and I make sure everything's going well. But you guys are great at if it was like a young kid, especially, or somebody who is new and like, maybe I don't know about soccer. Soccer could be interesting. You guys make it fun and interesting, and I understand it better when you guys talk about it. When I'm watching on TV, I don't know. Maybe they're just talking too high. Like you guys can.
Right.
You guys can like.
you guys dumb it down for us,
Yeah.
dummies.
I mean,
Like,
you're
yeah.
good. You're good at making things dumb.
Yes,
Matt.
you guys.
But
like you said though, like when you're watching on TV, like I tried to get into the World Cup. I watched the game last Sunday. I watched the game,
Right.
watching the USA team, and
it's just hard.
it's just I can't get into it.
Right.
It's
Like, I don't know,
but
but-
I mean, I'm rooting for this union. Hey,
Yeah.
good luck to these guys. But
I would love to see that the Michael Jordan of soccer comes into town and the Union win, and kind of like it would be typical Philly. Like and one of the thing is, I said I will tune and see his. I think people will cheer for him, but I would love to see we have that typical Philly.
yeah,
Boo.
the Sons of Ben got to boo him.
Yeah,
Like I don't care. Like Jordan got booed here.
I just don't think they will. I think that he's so big that they won't boo him. I just don't think it's going to happen.
No, I mean that's like I said. To me, it just sucks because you have to get and now they're force feeding you in a way to get if you're not going to the game to get the MLS, the Apple TV package.
It's all about
Man,
selling.
get used to that because that's going
It's
to be
all about
that's going
selling.
to be the NFL. As soon as those contracts run out with CBS and Fox,
Yeah.
You don't think they're doing? You don't think like the NFL and the NBA and MLB are on?
pretty soon you're going to have to pay a season pass to watch the Eagles. Like you just get ready
Yeah.
for that. If you're an Eagles fan,
or you're going to have to be like an Amazon. Take like Amazon Prime who has a few games. They might just take over on it because they're going to pay, out the ass so people sign up. Like YouTube TV might say, we want Major League Baseball. You can only watch Major League Baseball on YouTube TV. Then it's going to force your hand because right now, if you think about it, and this is like a little off topic, but it's the same thing. But right now, it's a ratings war, and you got a lot of companies like Comcast who have cable and Xfinity, Verizon, whatever you want to call it. Now you got YouTube TV and Hulu Live TV and all this stuff. Well, now if you want to win in the ratings war, or if you want to win and get people to sign up with you over, why should I choose Xfinity over Fios, or why should I choose YouTube TV over that? Everybody has different reasons, but you're telling me I can only watch my Major League Baseball games on one of them? Yeah, you're probably going to win me.
Yeah.
So, that's just the way it is.
So I mean, and kind of going back to the whole union thing. So I mean, this is going to be a big game, and like I said, if anyone's going to get in there and check it out, go do so because this guy, again, you're playing against probably the best soccer player right now in the world, and then so let me.
Is he like also? Would you consider him the GOAT as well, or does there?
So I'm pretty sure you heard like the Cristiano Ronaldo's and all that stuff. Like he's up in that upper echelon kind of. Hi, Jamie.
Say hi, man.
So let me ask. So let me ask you. You said out. When MLS was in the championship round, did you pay heavy attention to it, or you're like you're?
I was casually. It was like one of those things. Philadelphia's in it. I'm going to take a gander at it.
you got to remember too. The Phillies were playing that night too. So
Yeah,
it was it was. I think. Didn't we have like 3 teams lose that day?
No, it was the 3 championships. If that's what you're counting for.
2, but yeah,
weekend.
It was in a weekend. But like, yeah, I tried. I tried. I tapped out. So
let me ask you: if there's a parade, you guys coming?
No,
Because
because it's cool for the city, but I can't be that guy
Oh,
going.
Yeah,
No,
look at all
waving
my
the
union gear
pom-poms.
with all the tags
Yeah,
still on it. And all that.
yeah. I can't
I'm
be
not
that guy.
I'm not a fake. I can't fake it.
Yes.
But
I won't give him credit.
no, but at the same time, I'd be excited for it. Excited for it for the city.
I'd be excited for guys like you and Austin and Gus who covered it, and Diego.
Right.
I'd be happy for you guys.
When Villanova won the championship, it wasn't a huge turnout, but it was really cool to see. So I mean, anytime a championship's brought to this town, I mean, even the Soul back in the day, a couple years in a row,
I went to their
they had some
parties,
parties in the parking lot, which was cool. And I watched a couple Soul games. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I watched all the Soul games. Actually, it's my first time ever covering in-arena sport was for the Philadelphia Soul. So, like, I had a little bit of an attachment there. But if I wasn't watching it, no, I wouldn't be going, like, I'm going down the parade.
Yeah, well, listen, guys, it's going to be a lot of fun. Again, we'll see what the Phillies do today with Ranger Suarez on the mound. Hopefully, the offense can come alive. Al, we know you're going to be down there covering it.
Yep. I'll be on my Twitter and at EOP Twitter, so either at Big Al at EOP or just go to EOP Sports.
And I saw you yesterday. You did a little double action yesterday. You had the TV.
Dude, I'm telling you, and I'm not here to sell it, but like you're saying, like which one you're going to choose. That's why I use YouTube TV. I have a couple iPads. I keep like in my studio at home. I have like two big iPads that are like my TVs. Like I can put on either side of my computer, so I can have like the game here and there. I was in the living room because I was watching it with my boys, so I brought the iPad up with the Eagles real close to me, muted that, put the Phillies on there, and then I kind of switched it up after a bit because
I saw
the
you.
Phillies were getting a little difficult to watch at one point.
Yeah, no, and
I had to do the post game, so I did have to pay attention most of the time.
I had the Birds on the big TV, the Phillies on the computer, and I mean it was good stuff. It was
great, but it's also like daunting at sometimes too.
But that's like because being in part of this, like part of the covering it, we know this is like our jobs here. So like imagine when October comes around, we gotta watch all four. I mean, our heads. That's what we love about this because our heads spin like an owl's. Just, woo woo woo. It just goes all around.
You need to put that picture up again.
You put that picture up again? I can do that for you. This is why Pat's
This is why Pat.
That's why Pat's all.
This is why Pat's going woo woo woo.
Yeah.
So for Big Al,
hold on 1 second.
Oh wait a minute, we got to get something in.
We got some things to get in.
Oh, what do we got? I just got it in.
Just a reminder. Maybe we'll have to not get this in. Just to
get it out now.
I'm going to be putting the schedule out for next week. There's a lot of returning things, a lot of new things. One of those new things we announced last week's show, but it was the inaugural show because Mike wants to do it alone because Pat's just too much to handle.
Yeah, I'm going to need a break to talk sports without this woodpecker in my ear.
So Mike's Locker Room Sports, like he said, Austin and the guys are at 9:00 for the attacking third. But before that, at 7:00, Mike Lauro is going to be hosting the Locker Room Sports here at EOP.
Thursdays at 7.
The inaugural show will be this Thursday coming up. I will have the schedule out later as well because we have a very busy week next week starting. And then by the September 1st, it's going to be even busier. I'm going to be able to fit it all on one screen. That's how the writing's going to be so little big out. It's not
that huge, huh?
Yeah, it's that big. It's that big. Now, Mike, as you were saying.
Mike, for Big Al, the soon-to-be vacation in Pat Bernard, I'm Mike Lauro. We'll see you next week.
See ya.